Let me take you back to the ancient prehistoric time of 2018, the year that Sonic Mania Plus released, an updated version of Sonic Mania which was released back in 2017. Along with Mania Plus, we got another piece of Mania content, Sonic Mania Adventures, an animated series released on the official Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube channel. The first episode, called Sonic Returns, was released on March 30th, 2018. This episode starts with classic Sonic being teleported to Angel Island after the events of Sonic Forces. Considering the fact that the events of Sonic Mania Plus's Encore campaign take place right after Sonic Mania, I have to wonder, when does Mania Adventures take place on the Sonic timeline? Maybe Mania Adventures is an alternate timeline or something. In any case, after returning to Angel Island, Sonic sees Eggman kidnapping a bunch of Flickies, so Sonic runs after him. Sonic manages to free the Flickies, but saving them also causes Sonic to be put in a trap set up by Eggman. Sonic uses a Chaos Emerald to lure Eggman in, leading to Eggman getting himself trapped. Then Sonic and Eggman slap fight for a bit. Sonic manages to escape, but Eggman gives him the puppy dog eyes, and somehow it works. Sonic goes back to get Eggman down before looking at a device that Eggman dropped, and realizing that the puppy dog eyes were a trick, and Eggman was just gonna steal Sonic's Chaos Emerald. I have no idea why Sonic decided to rescue Eggman, maybe because this was a younger, more naive, less mature Sonic. Anyways, Sonic then dips and lets Eggman get blown up. Then the credits roll. Sonic Mania Adventures was animated by Neko Productions, a studio from California. According to the portfolio on their website, they've done work on a number of things, like an Adventures mobile game, Smite, and Paladins. They also apparently worked on a short film about the famous sex therapist Dr. Ruth. I don't really have anything to say about that, I just thought it was kinda interesting. Anyways, after the credits, we get a post-credit scene of Metal Sonic menacingly creeping through the forest. Episode 2, called Sonic and Tails, was released a month later on April 30th, 2018. This episode starts with Tails working on the tornado. Sonic shows up and gives Tails the device that Sonic got from Eggman, which is actually a Chaos Emerald radar. Sonic hears an explosion and runs off, leading to a fight with Eggman. Sonic uncharacteristically gets bodied, so he joins up with Tails for some co-op action. With the power of teamwork, Sonic and Tails defeat Eggman without too much trouble. The duo then find their second Chaos Emerald. Not too much happens in these episodes individually, as they're pretty short, only about 3 minutes long each, and that's including the credits sequences. After the credits of this episode, we get a post-credit scene where Eggman sees Knuckles with the Master Emerald through the spy camera in one of his badniks, called Monkey Dude, which is probably my favorite name for a generic enemy ever. So Eggman decides to steal the tornado and go after the Master Emerald. Episode 3, called And Knuckles, was released a month later on May 31st, 2018. This episode starts with Knuckles trying to hide the Master Emerald when suddenly Ray pulls up. Ray tries to get a handshake from Knuckles, but Knuckles rejects him in a way that gives me the most secondhand cringe I've ever experienced. Ray is looking for Mighty, who's apparently missing, probably off on one of his awesome adventures if Tails Tube is to be believed. Ray is enamored by the Master Emerald, but before he can touch it, Knuckles yeets him into next century. A couple badniks pull up on Knuckles, but Knuckles easily gives them the hands. While Knuckles is fighting, Eggman steals the Master Emerald, but because Eggman stole the tornado at the end of episode 2, Knuckles thinks that Sonic was the one who pulled a fast one on him. For whatever reason, Knuckles has some serious trust issues. Even before seeing the tornado, Knuckles thought Sonic was out to steal his precious emerald. Get some therapy, man. My therapy is listening to Sonic music. Thankfully, the soundtrack for Sonic Mania Adventures is great. The music score for this series was done by T. Lopes, a fantastic composer who probably needs no introduction, but for those of you who aren't in the know, he worked on the soundtrack for a number of Sonic games, but most famously, he composed the soundtrack for Sonic Mania. Mania Adventures has a lot of songs and little jingles that are remixes of Sonic music. For example, check this one out. Recognize that? That is the title theme music from Knuckles' Chaotix. Yes, my self-esteem is tied to knowing obscure Sonic trivia. After the credits for the episode, we get a post-credit scene where Metal Sonic goes after a Chaos Emerald. Episode 4, called Mighty and Ray, was released about 3 weeks later on June 22nd, 2018. This episode starts with Ray continuing his search for Mighty. While searching for Mighty, Ray is attacked by Metal Sonic. Ray is saved by Mighty, who arrives in the nick of time to protect Ray with Mighty's hard shell. I just love Mighty and Ray's interactions. Their expressions are too fun. These really emotive characters are probably a result of Mania Adventures not having any voice acting. There are some very subtle vocal moments, but they're just minor stuff like chuckling or coughing. No actual words. Classic Sonic not talking in video games was firmly established back in Sonic Generations, a character trait that would be consistent in future appearances. Personally, I like it. It gives off those super early cartoon vibes before talking characters became the norm. Classic Tails did talk in Sonic Generations, but it seems as though Sega is trying to make the no talking rule apply to the entire classic Sonic cast, as none of the characters talk here. The stories of classic Sonic games, and by extension Sonic Mania Adventures, are very simple, so voice acting isn't really needed. In any case, back to the story, Metal Sonic catches Ray and Mighty slipping and manages to take Ray hostage. So Mighty is forced to give Metal Sonic a Chaos Emerald as ransom. Metal Sonic leaves, but Ray sees where Metal Sonic is going, as well as Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, who are all going in the same direction. So Ray and Mighty give chase as well. After the credits, there's a post-credit scene where Eggman is evilly monitoring everyone's position as they come to his lair. Episode 5, called Metal Mayhem, was released about a month later on July 17th, 2018, the same day that Sonic Mania Plus came out. This episode begins with Sonic and Tails making it to Eggman's lair, where they immediately get defeated by Metal Sonic, who steals their 2 Chaos Emeralds. Metal Sonic uses the 7 Chaos Emeralds to become Super Metal Sonic? I'm not really sure what this form is. In any case, he has Super Form Aura. Sonic likes the idea of a challenge, so he tries fighting Metal, but obviously Sonic is outmatched. Ray and Mighty show up and they all team up to fight Metal Sonic, but unfortunately Metal Sonic is still just too strong, even with the 4 heroes working together. Thankfully, Tails uses his nerd skills to hack into Eggman's defense system, and Tails uses it to incapacitate Metal Sonic, taking away his Chaos Emeralds. Metal Sonic tries to power up using the Master Emerald, but Knuckles makes it just in time to punch Metal Sonic and Eggman into the next millennia. As quick as he shows up, Knuckles dips with the Master Emerald. We then immediately cut to Sonic, Tails, Ray, and Mighty all chilling out while eating some chili dogs. The end. Yeah, the ending is pretty abrupt, but it was a satisfying watch. Mania Adventures was written and directed by Tyson Hesse, an artist who's directed several of the other Sonic animations and who's even done artwork for the Sonic the Hedgehog comics. These 5 episodes would be released as an 11-minute compilation on the Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube channel, which, fun fact, is the most viewed video on the Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube channel. It is currently sitting at over 100 million views. I'm guessing it's probably because a metric ton of parents just threw Mania Adventures on to occupy their iPad kids. Interestingly enough, the compilation version of these 5 episodes actually made some changes. The changes are very minor, the most noticeable changes being that the compilation version has different lighting in various places. The original episodes had generally pretty flat, consistent lighting for the characters, but the compilation version changed the lighting to make how the characters are lit reflect the lighting of the environment a bit more. Overall, the compilation version seems to have more post-processing effects, giving the animation a softer, warmer look to it. Depending on your tastes, I could see you preferring either version visually, honestly. But yeah, besides that, both versions are basically the exact same thing. It's not like the compilation version is the director's cut with a bunch of new added scenes and cut content. The initial wave of Sonic Mania Adventures ended with episode 5. However, 5 months later, on December 20th, 2018, a 6th episode called From a Rose would drop, serving as a Christmas special for the series. The episode begins with Eggman and Metal Sonic landing after being punched away by Knuckles at the end of episode 5. Eggman abandons Metal Sonic, leaving him to rot. Time passes, the weather changes, and Metal Sonic is completely covered in snow. Amy finds Metal Sonic, who is extremely low on power and really weak. A tree nearly falls on Metal Sonic, but Amy saves him. When Amy realizes what she's done, she immediately spazzes out and starts wailing on Metal Sonic with her hammer. Feeling sorry for him, Amy takes Metal Sonic to Eggman's place. Eggman then takes Metal Sonic back, much to Amy's delight. Sonic, who was there the whole time I guess, is flabbergasted, and Amy gives him a flower as a present. The end. For real this time. But there you have it, Sonic Mania Adventures. This was a cute little mini-series that I'm honestly a little surprised that they didn't make more of. The episodes are super short, there's no voice acting to worry about, and the simple structure of the classic Sonic world makes this series prime for a continuation. I would love to see these guys go on more adventures, and I would especially love to see more of the other classic Sonic characters. I thought that the series was funny, the music remixes were good, and I found the backgrounds and artwork to be really vibrant and eye-catching. You can't go wrong with Sonic Mania Adventures. In any case, I think that's about it for this video. If you're interested in watching more videos where I talk about stuff, here's a video you might enjoy, and here's a whole playlist of Sonic videos for you to check out if you're looking for something to marathon or to just have something to listen to as background noise. That's all I've got to talk about for today though, so thanks for watching y'all, and have a great rest of your day.